I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, what are you doing? Let me... What are you doing? Stay. It's alright, it's okay. There, you're comfortable. Alright. Hi, everybody! Say hi.
You were supposed to start the first part. Hello.
So right now we're in Brunswick, Georgia. We've made our way down the ICW. We're close to the border of Florida, and we realize we're way behind on our videos. So we thought we'd catch you guys up on the next part of our journey after New York. This video is going to focus on when we rounded the New Jersey coast on the outside. That was a rough few days, as you'll see. But it was also interesting because it was a lot of firsts for us.
So we had our first sail without the motor on this trip. It was our first time going on the outside, especially on the outside with no safe inlets to go into if we came into trouble. Our first overnight sail, which was not as bad as we thought, which you'll see. What else was it? Our first time going into an inlet, which you'll see what happens with that. First time seeing a whale, and we may have a tiny bit of footage of that. Yeah, but as you can see, we survived.
It wasn't just our first overnight sail, it was our first night sail. And it wasn't just our first sail, it was our first time sailing, not just motor sailing.
That's what I said.
On this trip. You won't see what happens when we come into the inlet, actually.
We were a little busy.
Yeah, we didn't get any footage of what it was like coming into Absecon. Atlantic City and Absecon Inlet. We ran into some troubles and didn't think of picking up the camera, but we'll talk about it. But anyways, take a look.
Eastern edge of Sandy Hook. Look at all that chop. These guys here left Sandy Hook just ahead of us. They were in there dredging. We got this guy coming up our channel. That's like a heavy duty tug.
As we made our way around Sandy Hook, we were a few hours away from sunset in perfect sailing conditions.
There she sits, along with me.
The winds, coming out of the northeast, filled our sails, and we were in high spirits, happy to be moving again.
We are all scared to have the welded out feet.
Behind us, in the distance, New York City's skyline got smaller and smaller.
Across the countryside, all by myself. She is my ocean, my land and sea. And they're falling into your arms. They're calling back to you again. And they're falling into your arms. And they're calling back to you again. I know that I'm crossing the line tonight. She is my ocean, my land and sea.
As we navigated around dredging ships, tugs, barges, and cargo ships laden with shipping containers, we were once again reminded why these waters were some of the busiest in the country.
again. They do it to me. But anyways, Aaron saw it. It's like around here, and I know on the chart there's like a restricted area because it's a right whale habitat. And holy crap, there's a freaking right whale. We saw the dorsal fin, and then as I was looking, telling Aaron to turn down the motor, the tail, the flukes came up. There it is.
That I'm crossing the line tonight.
Alright, you can have a video of Coffee Dog while I talk over it. So it's just after 7:30. It is dark. We're about 3 miles offshore, just passing Shark River. Oh no. The engine is off and it's quiet. We are going
5 knots.
There we go. It's 12:30. We have an almost full moon guiding us. Clouds cleared out a little bit, so that's great. Aaron's downstairs getting something to eat. So we got one soup for Jersey. You can see the compass. We're heading south-southwest. Whoa, those came out of nowhere. It was like buoys. Anyways, Aaron's been helming most of the way. He's not very tired. He's exercising and he's still wide awake, so I've been sleeping on and off since about 9:30.
Yeah, there's lots of lobster ponds and stuff.
How's it going, BB? Yeah? Well, I better turn off the video then. Okay, folks. It's 4:45. And you can't see it, but we're just off the coast of Barnegat. It's taken us 14 hours to get here. It's only about 50 miles. But, oh well. The wind has died down about an hour ago, so we're going 2.5 to 3 knots, taking our time. There's our trip stats so far. So, yeah, so far so good. Aaron just laid down. He's been manning the helm pretty much since about 6 o'clock. So he's done a huge shift. He wanted me to get some sleep so that I could stay up and do the day shift a little bit better. So he's relaxing now. Don't know how he stayed up so late, but sunrise, we should start seeing some sunrise, I guess, in about an hour and a half. So probably do another little update then.
I got out of bed today, swear to God couldn't see my face. I got out of bed today, just staring at a ghost who forgot to float away. Didn't have all that much to say, wouldn't even tell me his own name. And where'd my body go? Where'd my body go? Africa or Mexico? Where'd my body go? And where'd my body go? Oh, have you seen my ghost? See my ghost, see my ghost. Oh, have you seen my ghost? Staring at the ground. Oh, have you seen my ghost? See my
on the engine and actually get somewhere faster than 2.5 knots. We made it through the night. It is 6:45 and we have daylight, which is so awesome. That means we survived the night. And now we have the motor going. So we are going 4.5 knots instead of 3 knots. So still slow, but that's pretty much our MO on this trip. And I don't actually know where we are. I think we're just approaching Little Lake Inlet. So then it's Large Egg, or Large Egg is first, I don't really know. And then after that, it's Abascon Inlet, where Atlantic City is. And if we have the energy, we're just going to keep on trucking right through to Cape May. Hello again. It is about 9:45. So we've been going for like 18 hours, I guess. It's raining now. Aaron's downstairs sleeping. We are just passing Little Egg Inlet, and Atlantic City has been on the horizon for the last hour and a half. That would probably be exciting, except that we're not going to Atlantic City. We are going to continue on to Cape May and get New Jersey done with. Okay, so change of plans. We are going to Atlantic City. The weather's just kind of worsened. It's getting, can't even see Atlantic City anymore. It's pretty cloudy. The wind's going to pick up the rest of the day. At the speed we're going, because we made such slow time on the overnight, we'd be getting into Cape May. If we're on good time, like 6 o'clock, but more likely probably closer to dark. And also around 7:38 is when the storm that was supposed to come tomorrow is going to be starting. So rather than be dangerous, especially since we're tired right now, we've been going for a long time. I think we're just going to make do in Atlantic City, stay there tonight, probably tomorrow night, and wait out that storm. And then see what Tuesday brings, see what the weather's going to be, if we can take off and do either Cape May or even a little further. And then, yeah, go from there. So Aaron's trying to find us an anchorage or even a mooring or marina or something that we can go to. And we'll get into Atlantic City here, hopefully within the next couple hours.
Baby, action! Talk about coming into the inlet.
So, as you can see from the footage overnight, we had pretty light winds. So, because we were worried about hitting crab pots and things along the outside, we did shut off the motor, which was really nice and peaceful for the night. But it also meant we were averaging like 2.5 knots, so we did not get as far as we wanted, which was to Cape May. That meant that we were going to be going in at the Atlantic City Inlet. Now, by the time we got there, we were on an opposing tide. We had already been traveling for, I think, 18 hours at that point. It was pouring rain from the storm that was upcoming, which is why we needed to get into an inlet. And we were just all tired and cranky and just really wanted to get in. So we rounded it. We came in from the sea buoys and took our time, but the wind was coming from the north, so it was just blowing seas directly at us, probably 3 feet at this point.
We had beam seas.
And it was not pretty.
Yeah, we had beam seas and we were getting rocked like this. It was our first inlet. In hindsight, we should have gone more south and then rounded our nose into the seas and then turned into the inlet. But we didn't know to do that, and we just tried to. We made we did
what we could.
We turned west and started heading into the inlet, and we were getting rocked. And basically, what happened to us this time was the same thing that happened to us up in New York when we first tried to do go through East River. Our engine shut down.
Only this time we could not get it started again.
Yeah, this time we couldn't get it started again, and the seas. We were just past the rock walls, so we were close enough to be, not rocked too much, but far enough out that like the seas started pushing us towards the rock walls. So we had no engine. We made the rookie mistake of putting our sail away before we came into the inlet. So we had no propulsion whatsoever, and we were getting pushed into the rock walls, and we were on the verge of panicking. Tanya hopped onto the radio. I ran to the bow. Only thing I could do was just throw the anchor out there and have it slower, tie it off and slower progress towards the rock wall.
So yeah, once the anchor was over, we actually there was a kayaker and a paddleboarder who were out in the sea conditions, and it turns out they worked for the Coast Guard, obviously off duty, and so they stayed by us and made sure that everything was safe and that we were okay, and gave us some good advice. So I tried to call Towboat US because we had the unlimited towing membership, and they didn't answer on the radio. Luckily, the Coast Guard stepped in, and the actual Coast Guard, not the off-duty guys, and connected us. So we got a hold of the towboat, and they came in about 15 minutes or something like that. They were able to tow us into the marina. We were like 2 miles from the marina. It was so close and so frustrating. So they towed us into the marina. It's named after someone, but it's essentially the Golden Nugget Marina. There's not too many anchorages, and obviously with no engine we couldn't anchor, so we were stuck going into the marina.
Yeah. We're not going to go into too much detail about what happened with our engine. I'll put all that video. I've got video footage of the mechanic working on the engine.
Identifying the problem and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I'll post that up in another video. But needless to say, we were in Atlantic City for about 4 or 5 days. That's a very expensive marina. We hadn't planned on staying in a marina anyways. We were planning on anchoring, but with no engine and no way to start it, and we didn't know what the hell we were doing. Yeah, that was a rough few days. Anyways, after our stay in Atlantic City, we jumped around to... We left Atlantic City through Abscon Inlet, much better conditions as we left, and made the 30 or 35, 40 nautical mile trip further south to Cape May. Check it out.
So much nicer when we came in. There's still some waves out there, but that's just where it meets the rock wall and the sand. Things are finally looking up. We might have a nice sunny day. It's a little bit chilly. Saw a dolphin just behind us, and getting the heck out of Jersey. Well, almost. We're heading to Cape May. But then, we're getting the heck out of Jersey and on our way to Delaware and then into the Chesapeake. One crazy wave keeps on kicking up. There must be a shoal there. Glad that is outside of the channel. We are almost to Cape May, which means we have almost conquered the New Jersey coastline. How you feel?
Very good. Need a shave.
How you feel?
Feel great. Feel good. We gotta get in there first. I'll feel better once we're in there.
Yeah, we're a little gun shy from inlets after Atlantic City. And there's a good swell right now, so we're gonna have to drop the main pretty soon, and that's gonna be fun because then we're gonna be broadsided with swell. But we will see what we can do, and it looks like we have perfect timing because there's some not so nice looking clouds ahead. There's Cape May. I see the jetty. We're almost there. There's the last bit of New Jersey coast that we will be transiting. After this, into Cape May Harbor, and then out into Delaware Bay through the Cape May Canal. And we'll just cut right in here and get in the protection and then find an anchorage. Have to see. Are you going to remember how to anchor since it's been like 4 days? Yep. Good.
Okay. Oh. Oh, hey. Every time, man. Every time, you know what's happening. Alright. So yeah. We made it to Cape May safely. No issues. Cape May was cool.
Cape May was nice. So, in Atlantic City, we had some people pull up behind us, Sharon and Mike, and they talked to us a little bit, invited us over for coffee, and so when we pulled into Cape May, we were thinking, like, we wanted to go a little bit further into town, but then we saw them anchored right outside the Coast Guard station, so we're like, okay, well, we'll anchor with people we know, and it'll be fun. So we hung out with them. They were really nice and cooked us dinner. We had the best sunset of the trip, probably, there. It was just unreal. We should have some footage of that. And
we don't.
Well, we have pictures that Aaron can put up. And yeah, so that was really good. So we ended up having to stay in Cape May 2 nights because there was another front rolling in. So we just stayed on the hook and hung out with Mike and Sharon and just got a lot of stuff done. And then from Cape May, we continued through the Cape May Canal because we're small enough, and out into the Delaware Bay, which I think will be the next video.
Yeah, in a year or two when I get up to the next episode, actually no, in a few weeks, we'll put it up. We'll do the C&D Canal, the Delaware, and the Chesapeake all in one episode. Those of you who are watching, the 6 of you that are watching and care to follow, we apologize for, our late videos.
If you want to know where we actually are at any given time, just look on Instagram.
Yeah, check us out on Instagram, SV Gypsy Days.
And we now have our blog up too, which is very slim on actual blogs. But the website is up too, so you can check that out for at least our state summaries. And eventually we will actually start writing about what we actually have done.
Basically, we got a YouTube channel with no videos. We got a blog with almost no blog entries.
But we have an active Instagram.
But we have a very active Instagram account.
Yeah.
Check us out on SV Gypsy Days on Instagram. And stay tuned for the next episode that'll come out whenever. Editing videos is hard. I'm on vacation mode. I don't want to sit here and edit videos. Yeah, I gotta do it. Anyways, stay tuned. Those who've been watching, thanks for watching. Yeah.
So the motor, because we have a launch shaft on the dinghy, started to hit ground. And even though you can't really feel like you can see the bottom, you can. So the good husband is out front, pulling us along in the cold water. Coffee can't quite decide if he wants to join him. And I just get to sit in luxury. Let's see, is he gonna face plant?
Stay, buddy.
He's thinking about it. Go a little bit more inland so you're not so deep.
Buddy, stay there.
He doesn't understand.
Alright, buddy, go.
A little bit more graceful than last time. Kaplunk, kaplunk, kaplunk. Alright, I better go pull it.